All right, what's up, boys? I'm back with another tier list. Today, we're going to be ranking who has the best cardio in the UFC. So, who can push a pace for 5 rounds, who can keep it going all night, who can push at the end of the fight for that championship belt. So, let's get right into it. Starting off with Chaos Colby Covington, A tier. Now, I know he hasn't been that impressive as of late, but there's no denying that Colby Covington has good cardio. I think all of his other skills are overrated. He doesn't have good BJJ. He doesn't really have good striking. The dude has cardio, and yeah, you really can't say much otherwise. He kept up with Kamaru Usman in both their title fights through and through, which was very impressive considering the pace Usman puts on. But yeah, the King of Chaos, Mr. Greetings, Nerds, and Virgins. I think he probably should retire and stick to poker, but his cardio is A tier. I think he deserves that. Moving right along, Umar Nurmagomedov. I'm putting Umar in the B tier. Umar has shown he can go 5 rounds. I think all of his wins in the UFC are by decision outside of one or two. I think he knocked out Hannibal Barcelos, but he's shown he could push a good pace. Yes, I know there's a fight where he gassed out once, but Umar, he shows he can push a good pace. He can go for 5 rounds. He just outworked and out hustled Corey Sandhagen for 5 rounds. So I don't think it's unfair to say he doesn't have really good cardio. Plus, the smaller guys, 135, they can go all day either way. So yeah, Umar in the B tier. Let's move right along. Bilal Muhammad. I'm putting Bilal ahead of Kobe in the A tier. Come on, dude. All right, Bilal Muhammad in the A tier. Bilal has insane cardio. Now, how he developed insane cardio in his mid 30s and got jacked out of nowhere. Steroids might be the answer, but nonetheless, I don't care how boring he is because I think he's one of the most boring UFC fighters. Bilal Muhammad has cardio for days. He can do what he does in round one and round five. The dude just never gets tired. He's on the pillar of CEO of EPO, but he's not quite at the top. But yeah, Bilal, the never-ending cardio Muhammad in the A tier, he just outworked and out-hustled Leon Edwards at 36 years old for 5 rounds, which was quite insane to watch. And yeah, he's always had good cardio. Like you never really see Bilal get tired. You just keep seeing him pushing the pace and keep, throwing those hammers, all those finishes he has in the UFC, man. I tell you, whenever I watch a Bilal fight, I'm just looking for a finish in the first 10 seconds because the insane power he has. Anyways, let's move on to the next fighter, Volkanovski. I'm putting Volkan S tier. Look, man, I know Volkanovski's on a 2 knockout loss streak, but before that, and even during those fights, when has Volk ever gassed out against anybody? His cardio in the Makhachev fight was insane. His cardio in all three Max fights were insane. Like in the Yair fight, like Volk can push a pace all night long. He never gets tired. He's always hustling. He's a grinder, a blue collar fighter as they call him. So Volk, two things he's good at: fighting and cooking. And yeah, cardio is up there as one of his best attributes outside of his amazing striking. So I think Volkanovski in the S tier is undeniably the correct way to go. Let's move right along. Next up, Israel Adesanya. I'm putting Israel Adesanya in the B tier. Israel has good cardio. Now, is that because he sits back and leg kicks for 5 rounds? It might have something to do with it. Because whenever he's pushed a little bit, he does get a little bit tired. But Israel has shown throughout his UFC career that he can go all 5 rounds, leg kicking at range, counter striking. Even in the Alex Pereira fight, where they went to the 5th round, he got finished. His cardio held up all the way to the end. He did look a little bit tired, but he was there. And yeah, he's shown over his UFC career that he can go, and not get all that tired. So I think Izzy in the B tier is fair. He's gone 5 rounds, championship rounds, like 7 or 8 times in the UFC, maybe even more. So yeah, Izzy in the B tier. Moving right along. Give me Marlon Vera. I'm putting Marlon Vera in the C tier. The reason I'm putting Marlon Vera in the C tier is because we don't know how good this dude's cardio is because he doesn't do anything. Like Marlon Vera has one of the greatest chins in UFC history, and he has the potential to just go chin straight up in the air and just throw bombs at his opponent. But what does he do? He's like, nah, man, I'm going to be Mr. Technical and be patient, and I'm going to take the first 2 rounds off, and I'm going to get going in the 3rd round and lose a 29-28 decision. So yeah, Marlon Vera, he could have the best cardio in UFC history. We'll never know because he never pushes himself. He never throws enough strikes. But nonetheless, you never see him get tired. He's always going. So I got to give him some respect and put him in the C tier. Just to clarify, everybody on this tier list has good cardio, so don't go in the comments and say, "Well, is he in C tier?" Like everybody has good cardio. It's just what levels of cardio do you have? So Marlon Vera in the C tier, I think is fair. Let's move right along. Dricus Duplessis. I'm putting Dricus in the B tier. Now, Dricus, he can push a pace for 5 rounds, as shown in the Strickland fight, in the Adesanya fight to the 4th round. He looks more tired than he is, if that makes sense. Like he looks like he's all goofy and tired around the octagon, but in reality, the dude's still there and he's still dangerous. So he did slow down a bit in the end of the Strickland fight a little bit, and he has slowed down in some fights in his UFC career. But there's no denying that this dude comes throwing bombs and hammers until you break, like he did to Robert Whittaker, like he did to Adesanya, like he didn't break Sean Strickland, but he pushed a good pace for 5 rounds and got in his face. So Dricus Duplessis, he can push the pace. He can be powerful in the 1st round and the 5th round. So there's no denying. I'm going to put him ahead of Adesanya in the B tier. I think he has a little bit better cardio, and Umar. A little bit better cardio than both of them, but nonetheless, B tier for Dricus. I think that's fair. Moving right along, Kamaru Usman. I'm putting in the A tier. Nobody really. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like people don't talk about Kamaru Usman's cardio. Like this dude, even with his insanely bad knees and just being up there in age in like his mid 30s, he has insane cardio. Even in the Leon Edwards uh, trilogy, where he comfortably got defeated, he still got in Leon's face every round, never stopped coming. Both the Kobe fights never stopped coming. Like this dude puts a pace on people. The Tyron Woodley fight, he beat the piss out, the brakes off of Tyron Woodley. Like that was one of the most dominant challenger champion beatdowns I've ever seen. But Kamaru Usman, we already know, even in his mid 30s, he might be on EPO, he might not, who knows? But the dude can push a pace all night long and not get tired. So I think him in the A tier is more than fair. So yeah, Kamaru Usman A tier. Moving on, Ilya Topuria. I'm gonna put him right behind Volk in the S tier. Ilya Topuria has insane pace. He's always in insane shape. I mean, he threw hammers at Josh Emmett for 5 rounds, and he's comfortable. I know he has a lot of finishes, but even when he doesn't get a finish, you don't really see Ilya Topuria get tired. He's throwing tight combinations in boxing. He's, like I said, as shown in the Josh Emmett fight, he can go all night long. So when have you seen Ilya Topuria get tired? I have to put him in the S tier. Like I know that might seem like a bit of glaze, but when have you seen him get tired? He doesn't get tired. Like the dude can just go all night. Let's see how he does against Max Holloway. Let's see. But as of now, I'm putting him in the S tier. And yeah, Ilya Topuria S tier. Moving right along, John Jones. I'm putting John Jones in the A tier. Now, John Jones in the A tier. John Jones, he doesn't really get tired. Like maybe the Gustafson one fight, maybe at the end of the Dominic Reyes fight that he should have lost. But you don't really see John Jones get tired throughout his entire career. He's just been able to use his reach to his advantage and use his insane cardio to push the pace to 5 rounds, however many times he need. He beat the brakes off of Anthony Smith for 5 rounds and never got tired. He beat the brakes off of a lot of fighters and never got tired. John Jones has been in so many championship fights and went the distance and technically never lost, even though he should have lost to Reyes. He's technically never lost, and yeah, John Jones, although he coasts a lot he doesn't really go for the finish outside the first 2 rounds. You see John Jones coasting a lot, but he is one of the best when it comes to the cardio department, especially in the upper weight classes. So I got to put him in the A tier. Let's move on. Arman Tsarukyan, I'm putting him in the A tier as well. It's no secret that Arman Tsarukyan has insane cardio. Back in 2017 when he fought Makhachev in his debut, he gave Makhachev a run for his money, held his own in the grappling. I mean, who's outworking, aside from Makhachev, who's outworking Arman Tsarukyan? Nobody. He outworked Charles Oliveira. I know we got caught in the guillotine at the end of the fight, but let's not pretend like he didn't outwork and out wrestle Oliveira. And yeah, I mean, he smoked Beneil Dariush, I know, in the 1st round, so that's not really a good showing of cardio. But I really do think that Arman has some of the best cardio, underrated cardio in the UFC. So let me know what you think about that down below, because a lot of people don't talk about his cardio. So I'm going to put him in the bottom of A tier, for Arman. He has a little bit more to prove. Let's move on. Next up, Corey Sandhagen. I'm putting Corey in the C tier. Now Corey has went 5 rounds against Marlon Vera. He's went 5 rounds against Rob Font. Like kind of late and prayed both of them. He's went 5 rounds with Piotr Jan. He's went 5 rounds now with Umar. Like Corey shows that he can be there for all 5 rounds. He does slow down a little bit in the later rounds. He's definitely not the same fighter in the 5th round as he is in the first, but Corey Sandhagen can keep a pace. He can go all 5 rounds. So I'm gonna put him ahead of Cheeto because he's proven more. I'm gonna put him in the front of C tier because I feel like he's proven more than Cheeto in the cardio department. He showed he can go 5 rounds and actually like throw strikes, unlike Cheeto, who just kind of sits back and waits. So yeah, Corey Sandhagen in the C tier. Let's move on. Anthony Hernandez, the dark horse of this video. Nobody talks about him. The dude is got the best cardio at middleweight. There's no doubt about it. Best cardio at middleweight. Bro can go all night long. He weaponizes cardio. He never stops coming, and he has an insane submission game, dude. Watch Anthony Hernandez, man. I would like to see him versus maybe like a Brendan Allen next. I know Brendan Allen just lost, but Anthony Hernandez's cardio is insane. And I think that's why he's able to get like submissions on amazing submission artists because he wears them out. And then once you're so tired, it doesn't matter how good you are on the ground. Whenever you're tired and sloppy, Anthony Hernandez is going to get on your back or choke you out. So doesn't matter. Fluffy, my boy, in the B tier. Maybe he can move up to A tier, but he's got underrated cardio for middleweight. I think he has the best cardio in the middleweight division. So I'm going to put him ahead of Drickus because I think he has the best cardio at middleweight. Let me know if you disagree in the comments or not. But let's move on. Ciryl Gane. I'm putting Ciryl Gane in the C tier because, I mean, I probably could put him in the B tier being he's a heavyweight and he can go 5 rounds, but I don't know. Ciryl Gane, whenever you're fighting blobs, does it really take that much skill to go 5 rounds? I guess so, but he's really fit. He's a fit 245 pounds Ciryl Gane, and he can go all 5 rounds at a decent pace. But like I said, the fighters he's fought haven't really had to put a serious pace on him. So I don't know. Ciryl Gane he fights at his own pace because he dictates the pace. So I can't say his cardio is out of this world, but it is good. He's gone 5 rounds, so I'll give him his flowers in the C tier, brother. Moving right along, Maximus Holloway. I'm putting Max Holloway ahead of Volk in the S tier. Max Holloway has some of the best cardio we've ever seen. I mean, when have you seen Max Holloway get tired? Even in the third Volkanovski fight, when he was getting his ass beat, Volkanovski terrorized Max Holloway in the third fight, and yeah, he got destroyed in the third fight with Volkanovski, but his cardio never let down. He kept coming, kept swinging forward. Same thing in the Dustin Poirier fight at lightweight. He never got tired. And the Justin Gaethje fight at UFC 300, went all 5 rounds and knocked him out in the last second. Never got tired. Against Korean Zombie, never got tired. When have you seen Max Holloway get tired? Never. So I don't think that you can argue that he's not in the S tier for cardio. And if you do argue it, then you're just a hater, brother. I think Max Holloway has better cardio than Volk and Topuria, but they're all S tier, so it doesn't matter. They all have great cardio. So Maximus Holloway in the S tier. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Moving right along, Robert Whittaker. I'm putting Robert Whittaker in the C tier. Robert Whittaker has been in some wars in the UFC. He's went 5 rounds with Israel Adesanya. He's went 5 rounds with Yoel Romero twice. I mean, he's went, 3 rounds against Darren Till, I believe. He's went 3 rounds against Marvin Vettori and schooled him. He's went maybe 3 rounds against Jared Cannonier and nearly got cracked in the third round. But Robert Whittaker has really good cardio. Now, I will say, in some of his 5 round fights, he has shown to slow down at the very end of the fight. But for the most part, my boy Bobby Knuckles is coming with the heat. And you better watch out, because if you're not careful, he might knock your ass out in any given round. Just like he smoked Ikram in the first round. So that was beautiful. Obviously, they didn't display his cardio, but Robert Whittaker historically has amazing cardio. I can't quite put him up there in the B tier because I do think Drickus and Anthony Hernandez have better cardio, and Izzy. I'll give him that. So Robert Whittaker in the C tier. Moving right along, Piotr Jan. I'm putting Piotr Jan in the A tier. Listen, bro, I know he got smoked by Marab, but Piotr Jan never gave up in that fight. He was still coming. He was still throwing shots. He was still defending takedowns all the way through 5 rounds. Against Aljo in their first and second fight, he was outpacing Aljo. Like, I know Aljo won the second fight, lost the first one, BS knee. But I know Piotr Jan finished Jose Aldo back in the day in the 5th round. Like, he's there all 5 rounds, dude. dismantled Corey Sandhagen, which was one of the most entertaining fights I've ever seen. So yeah, Piotr Jan, I know he got out cardio by Marab, but let's not forget this dude has insane cardio. He keeps coming. One of the best boxers. He's active in the striking. Sometimes he could take the first and second round off, but he's not as frustrating to watch as Cheeto. He eventually comes on and starts doing his thing, unless it's against Marab, of course. So Piotr Jan in the A tier, brother. Next up, Dustin Poirier. I'm putting Dustin Poirier in the B tier. Oh, sorry about that. The reason I'm putting Dustin Poirier in the B tier is because he has been able to push a pace and get finishes in the later rounds of fights. He submitted Michael Chandler in the third round, and who else? He's kept up with Max Holloway at lightweight for all 5 rounds. Dustin Poirier has underrated cardio. He just went to the 5th round with Islam Makhachev. So yeah, I'm gonna say Dustin Poirier is in the B tier, and if you don't like it, then that's just too damn bad. No, I'm kidding. All right, so I forgot to include him in the video, but he's definitely in here. Islam Makhachev, I was gonna put him in here in the A tier. Islam has underrated cardio. I mean, he can grapple and go all 5 rounds, as shown in the Poirier fight. He can slow down a little bit against Volk at the end, and at the end against Poirier, he did secure the submission, but he did look a little bit slower. But Islam, I'm still gonna put him in the A tier. I just forgot to get his little picture, so just pretend he's in the A tier, and everybody will be okay. And yeah, last but not least, you know who's going in the S tier. It's not a secret. Come on, dude. Merab Dvalishvili, the top of S tier. Nope, watch out, Max. Yep, Merab Dvalishvili, easy S tier. No, there's no debate. Who has better cardio than Merab? He's about to break GSP's records for the most takedowns in UFC history. I think he has like 4 to go. Merab by far has the best cardio in the UFC. He weaponizes it. I don't really think Merab has a submission threat. He doesn't have great striking. The dude is literally just what his name suggests. He is the machine. Merab Dvalishvili. I mean, it's like I would be shocked to know this dude's not on EPO with how insane his cardio is. Every single fight, he never stops coming. And the most impressive part about it is he's 10 of his 11 fights in UFC have been won by decision. The only person that he finished was Marlon Moraes, which shows that Merab literally can go all night long, dude. Merab's cardio doesn't make sense. Like it needs to be studied. I'd like to know if he's on EPO. I would like to know how he's able to keep insane pace like that for 25 minutes or 15 minutes in a 3-round fight. But yeah, Merab in the S tier. There's no doubt about it. He has the best cardio in the UFC. Max is a decently close second, but I still put Merab above him. I mean, whenever you have a wrestling style like Merab and you're able to just out cardio everybody in your division all the way to the title, what else is there to say? You have the best cardio in the UFC. So the machine in S tier. And yeah, that's ultimately the end of the tier list, guys. Let me know in the comments if I forgot anybody. I know you don't see Islam on the screen, but I did include him. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you everyone for subscribing. Like the video if you enjoyed, please. It helps me a lot. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching again.